Were there any other messages, Maggie?
No, Papa.
From your mamma?
No, Papa.
Right. Did old Mr. Bannister arrive to fix the downpipe?
Yes, Papa, but he didn't finish. He's coming back next week.
Is he now? I'll have to watch what he charges. I can't be paying bills for work not done. If he thinks to take advantage just because I'm indisposed, he's got a surprise coming.
Shall I tell Grandpa to give him some...
No. Don't tell Grandpa anything, do you understand? And certainly nothing I say to you in here.
Yes, Papa.
How are Ada and little Lily?
They're well, Papa.
Good. It's a comfort to know my family are so brave.
Yes.
No message from Mamma, eh? You quite sure?
Yes, Papa. I'd remember, wouldn't I?
Yes, I suppose you would. Dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High, shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
There you are, Seddon. Grub up.
What's this?
What does it look like? Mutton stew.
Oh.
Enjoy it, Seddon.
I was delighted to hear that Mr. R.D. Muir will be on my case.
Well, why's that?
I'll enjoy crossing swords with one of the finest legal brains in the country, that's why.
All that legal talk leaves me a bit befuddled, like.
It would. But he and I, we're alike. It's all up here, you see. I shall need more paper, by the way. Lots more paper. Can it be supplied?
Well, no problem, Seddon. Is it for your figures?
And notes. I'll be making a good many notes in the next few days.
All right. I'll see to it.
Invaluable thing, note-taking. Aids the memory. Miss Barrow appreciated that. She appreciated everything I did for her. Advising her on financial matters and the like.
Did she?
Yes. And there were times when I could hardly bring myself to go near her. Smelt so unpleasant, you see. Unhealthy. Something to do with her breath, I think.
Oh, sounds a rummin to me.
Always hanging around, too. Talking to Chater in the kitchen and Maggie in the garden. Even met her and Margaret on the stairs having some sort of argument. Never found out about what exactly.
Funny kind of lodger.
She had a head for business, though. For figures. I'd forgive anyone for that.
I'm afraid it's not what you're used to.
It isn't. But it would be a sin to waste it. I can't abide waste. I never could.
Your young daughter coming to visit you today? She's got special dispensation, so I hear.
Maggie? I don't know.
Ah, she's a credit to you, that one.
Yes, she is. And she'll have something to say about this business when she gets into the witness box.
We're not allowed to discuss what she'll say, Seddon. Regulations.
Well, very loyal she is. A dutiful daughter. All my family are like that. And I shall be out of here soon enough to see them again.
Well, it's very comforting to see such a positive attitude, if I may say so.
I have nothing to hide. I'm an innocent man. That's God's my witness. And that will get me out of here. Get us both out, Mrs. Seddon and I.
Well, you have a brave lady by your side.
A trifle slow-witted on occasion, but loyal to the last. I can always depend on Mrs. Seddon, you see. And she nursed Miss Barrow like an angel of mercy. I was proud of that.
It's a lovely present, your husband.
My husband? Mr. Seddon doesn't have the imagination for anything like that.
Stop sighing, Lily, and off you go.
I wish I had a fairy godmother to bring me things like that.
Ah, but it wasn't a fairy godmother, was it, Mamma?
Did you bring that blue bonnet?
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot.
Can't ask you to do the simplest thing.
Next time?
It doesn't matter. I shall have to go into the witness box without it. I wanted to look at least halfway presentable. Really, Maggie, you'll forget your head one of these days. What are you smirking at?
Don't be so hard on the girl, Seddon.
Please don't tell me how to treat my daughter.
Mr. Bates says it doesn't matter how you look. It's what's inside here that matters.
Really?
Yes. Well, don't let me interrupt you.
I know what I want to do when I grow up.
Do you?
Yes. have lots and lots of friends. And a husband.
Well, no.
Oh, you do, don't you, Mamma? Have lots of friends, I mean.
Yes, well, never mind that now. Tell me a news. Has that downpipe been fixed yet? Your father will be so angry about it when he gets out... When...
I've been fortunate.
Have you, Seddon?
A good wife, fine children, a steady income. I can't complain.
Many would, I'm sure.
Well, they haven't my brains to appreciate the better things of life.
No.
And this, the best book ever written. I get a great deal of comfort from it.
Well, as it should be, Seddon. I'm not what you might call a churchgoer. The missus nags me about it.
It isn't easy following the path of our Maker, even with the wife's help.
Too many temptations in this life. Too much to enjoy. Women for one. And I do like a drop of gin now and again. You mightn't see it that way.
But I do.
You do?
We're alike, you and I. Appreciate the better things. There are too many temptations.
Are there?
And I'm no saint.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I give shall be the truth, very ill, the whole truth. Last night, I went up to the Marlborough Theatre and returned home about 12:30 midnight. I heard from my wife that Miss Barrow had called out she was dying. I am dying, or something like that. I said, is she? And my wife said no, and smiled. She said she'd been calling out like that, and that she'd done all she could for her. We both went to her room together.
Had you the slightest suspicion that Miss Barrow was fatally or dangerously ill?
No. You see, every night had been alike. Sending down and calling out. My wife having to go up and down, up and down. And Miss Barrow was a woman who complained more than necessary with regard to her ailments.
How long were you in Miss Barrow's room at this time?
A few minutes. There was a shocking smell in Miss Barrow's room that night. I couldn't bear to be in the room, as I have a delicate stomach.
Did you know if your wife had got any fly papers?
She told me she did.
Have you ever handled a fly paper that came into the house?
Absolutely no.
Have you ever in your life boiled down a fly paper and made a concoction of fly paper?
No. I've never known anybody to do it. Until I heard in this court that it had been done by experiment.
It's all over now, Maggie.
What is it, Mamma? Are you unwell?
I saw her.
Who?
Miss Barrow. She was there in the courtroom.
Mamma, you're imagining things.
She was there. I could smell her. And she looked straight at me.
Mamma.
And laughed. The evil old woman.
Please stop it. You're frightening me.
Am I? Don't be scared, Maggie. Ghosts are 10 a penny these days.
Let's not talk about it. Jayston says Papa's doing well.
Is he?
I felt so proud of him, standing there, telling the truth.
Truth? Yes. I've forgotten what that is. Do something for me, Maggie.
What is it, Mamma?
Can you get a message to him?
To Papa?
No.
I've managed before.
Tell him he must be patient.
Is that all?
Yeah.
No thanks for the oranges and honey?
That's enough, Maggie. And not a word to your grandfather.
Of course, Mamma.
One day you'll understand what this is all about.
I want to go now. I'm sorry I can't kiss you, Mamma.
Another time.
Yes, another time. Goodbye.
Was it about October that you began negotiations with Miss Barrow about an annuity?
About September, I think.
You arrived at an agreement with her that she was to transfer to you all her India stock to a value of £1,600 and her property, and that you were to give her an annuity of £2 to £3 a week.
What she wanted.
That was her proposal.
Yes.
And you were advising her.
I was agreeing with her.
Miss Barrow lived with you from the 26th of July 1910 till the morning of the 14th of September 1911.
Yes.
Did you like her?
Did I like her?
Yes, that is the question.
Well, she wasn't a woman you could be in love with, but I deeply sympathized with her.
During the time that Miss Barrow was living with you, did you advise her on her financial affairs?
Certainly I advised her.
You ascertained that she had over £200 in the Finsbury and City of London savings bank.
Yes.
She also had a cash box with some money in it when she came to you.
Yes.
Some gold?
I don't know. I never saw the inside of the cash box.
When she died, was all the property that was left of hers a sum of £10 in gold and other belongings to the value of £16, 14 shillings and sixpence?
According to the inventory taken by Mr. Gregory, it was £16 odd.
And the only cash that was left, according to you, was £10.
That, I swear, was all I found.
You always said I were no good. But it's you as landed up in jug.
I don't know why you bothered to come and see me, Father.
Thicker than water, that's why.
You could at least have put on a clean suit. Look at you, like something out of a farmyard.
Don't you talk to me like that. You'll feel the weight of my hand across your ear. Rules or no rules. Too conceited by half, that were always your trouble.
Don't be silly, Father.
Well, you may be a grown man now, but you'll always be tricky little Fred to me. So I'll take none of your rubbish.
If only you'd smarten yourself up a bit.
And what's the matter with me? I brought you up, didn't I? Saw that you had every chance.
That old story.
Aye, that old story. And if you can't keep a decent tongue...
I think you'd better leave, Father.
Whispering behind my back. I know I saw you. All three of you. But they knew something you didn't know. And Miss Barrow knew. And so did I.
What are you talking about?
Curious now, aren't we? You're going to listen to your old father. Now you wants to know something.
Tell me.
Why should I? Always kept your secrets, didn't you? Sad you know already, don't you? Suspect anyway. About them two. Liza Barrow knew too, didn't she?
Miss Barrow and my wife went to the bank and drew out £216 in gold. I've never seen that money. I told my wife I didn't consider Miss Barrow's trunk a very safe thing to keep such a sum.
During the whole time of her illness, did you think that money was in existence?
I didn't give it any consideration. My mind was occupied with other things.
Just think.
My business...
Just think what you say. Your mind was much agitated with her putting this money into the trunk in her room.
At the time, yes. But she told me she knew what to do with it. And she treated me with indifference for about a week after.
But so far as you were concerned?
I treated it like that.
You treated the £200 like that. Is that your explanation?
Yes.
I want to ask you about what happened at the interview with Mr. Smith and Mr. Taylor. You know what I'm speaking of now?
Yes. I'm supposed to have had her money early in the morning. There was £99 altogether in gold. It was the company's money and my own. It's not feasible a man is going to do a thing like that.
What do you mean?
The prosecution are suggesting that I'm dealing with the deceased woman's gold. That I take it down from the top of the house and in the presence of my assistants count it up.
I don't want to argue with you, but you know that sometimes people do very foolish things.
Well, I'm not a degenerate. That would make it out that I'm a greedy and human monster, or something with a very degenerate mind to commit a vile crime such as the prosecution suggests, and then bringing the dead woman's money down and counting it and flouting it like that. The suggestion is scandalous. I would have all day to count the money.
Did you know that 2/3 of a grain of arsenic was found in the stomach and intestines of this lady 2 months after her death?
I've heard that. I can't remember the exact amount found, but something like that.
Can you account for the arsenic having got into her stomach and intestines?
It's a Chinese puzzle to me.
What happened then?
Then he lifted up her eyelid and said... I can't say it. don't like to say it.
Never mind, say it low.
He said, "Good God, she's dead." Then he hurried out and went for Dr. Swan.
Have you ever administered or caused to be administered arsenic to Miss Barrow in any shape or form?
None whatever. None whatever.
Well, did you bring it as I asked?
Yes, Papa.
Let me see. Let me see.
Why did you ask?
Just let me look. I haven't. It's not the same as just doing figures. All right, Maggie, put them away.
Yes, Papa.
When this is all over, we must have a holiday. Southend, perhaps.
Yes, Papa.
All of us together again.
Oh. Mother said...
What did she say? Maggie, tell me.
She said she was thinking of going away on her own. Like last time.
Like last time.
Yes, that's what she told me. Perhaps I shouldn't.
You did right to tell me, Maggie.
Yes, Papa.
Do you find Frederick Henry Seddon guilty or not guilty of willful murder?
Guilty.
And do you find Margaret Ann Seddon guilty or not guilty of willful murder?
Not guilty.
Tell her she's discharged, will you?
Frederick Henry Seddon, you stand convicted of willful murder. Have you anything to say for yourself why the court should not give you judgment of death according to law?
I have, sir. I don't know whether anything I have to say here can in any way affect the judgment that is about to be passed upon me. But there is one thing quite patent to me. And it is that these monies...
Seddon spoke for 25 minutes. It was an admirable display of calculated and level-headed thinking. He said, "I am surrounded by a set of circumstances from which there seems no way of extricating myself." To the end, he claimed a clear conscience and, recognizing the judge was a member of the Brotherhood, used a Masonic sign as a final appeal.
Anything to me in the shape of money, which is the great motive suggested by the prosecution in this case for my committing the diabolical crime of which I declare before the great architect of the universe, I am not guilty, my lord. If it is the last words that I speak, I am not guilty of the crime for which I stand convicted.
Frederick Henry Seddon, you have been found guilty of the willful murder of Eliza Mary Barrow. With that verdict, I am bound to say I agree. You have a motive for this crime. That motive was the greed of gold. This murder has been described by yourself in the box as one which, if made out against you, was a barbarous one. A murder of design, a cruel murder. It is not for me to harrow your feelings.
It does not affect me. I have a clear conscience.
From what you have said, you and I know that we both belong to the one brotherhood, and it is all the more painful to me to have to say what I say. That our brotherhood does not encourage crime. On the contrary, it condemns it. I pray you again to make your peace with the great architect of the universe. Mercy, pray for it, ask for it. It may be some consolation to you to know that I agree with the verdict that the jury has passed with regard to your wife.
She has done nothing wrong, sir.
I am satisfied that the jury has done well and rightly in acquitting her. I am satisfied that they have done justice to you. Now, I have to pass sentence. The sentence of this court is that you be taken from hence to a lawful prison, and from thence to a place of execution, and that you be there hanged by the neck till you're dead, and that your body be buried within the precincts of the prison in which you shall have been confined after your conviction. And may the Lord have mercy on your soul.
It's all right. I'll keep an eye on him. Right, Seddon, just for a moment.
Ada, my dear. Lily?
You've been in hospital ever such a long time, Dada. Are you better now?
Not yet, my darling.
What funny clothes you're wearing.
Well, Ada, dear, I have to go away on a big ship to get better. And I don't suppose I shall be back for a very long time.
I don't mind, so long as you come back quite well.
It's all right, Margaret. Don't cry. Here, Cheta. Margaret.
Yes, Frederick.
We must both be brave now.
Yes.
I'm a victim of circumstances. I'm condemned on ifs and guesswork and calculations. But death has no terrors for me. My dear, God be with you. Go quickly, Cheta. Look after her for me. Look after them all.
It's time now.
Frederick Seddon was hanged on April the 18th, 1912. Margaret told a lurid story to a newspaper, claiming he'd forced her to watch while he administered arsenic to Miss Barrow. She later denied this story. Margaret Seddon married again, only a few months after her husband's execution.